Thank you for tuning into the latest episode of the Splashcast, your go-to podcast for news and discussion in the world of sports. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 193 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. That is my name. Our powers combined, we are your HBCU homeboys, and we are still learning how to unmute mics at the right time. We struggle, we get better, we continue every day. Thank you guys for rocking with us, and always remember, like, follow, subscribe, and tell somebody about the damn pod. We kicking ass.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get into it. Y'all know what it is. On Monday Night Raw, we do our HBCU news around the culture, followed by our whatever is in season. Right now it's basketball season, and then we'll round it out with football season off season news and notes. Norwood, let's get started with HBCU. Where you want to start?
Hold on. We're going to back that thing up like Juvenile. Try that again right now. And
a 26-year-old joke.
Right. That's fine. Made me do my own math. I ain't like that. FAMU versus Mississippi Valley State. The matchup will be moved to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This is interesting. It's exciting. Because at first it was supposed to be at Mississippi Valley State, and it is now in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Quite the change of venue. And this is done by the Mississippi Valley State.
This is interesting to me. Mississippi Valley State. I don't know how y'all pulled this off, first off. I don't know how y'all pulled off relocating a game that was supposed to be in Mississippi down in the Delta, and then just called up Arthur Blank like, "Yeah, I think we should be able to play in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. I mean, the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta." And it's like, I mean, we call a spade, right? Mississippi Valley State has been awful. They had that one. They finally started winning, and then the coach left.
Hey, cut that out. We support the blacks. Whatever you did needed to be done.
Yeah. So it's just interesting that they pulled this off. I really think FAMU is going. This is going to be a home game for FAMU. FAMU Atlanta is FAMU North.
Oh, remember you said that. Funny story. Hold your horses. This next video clip, I'm going to silence ourselves. It's about a minute long. This is the update from the new, and I stress, new athletic director of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University.
We saw some people that have something that belonged to us. It's called a win. The good devils of Mississippi Valley. Well, guess what? They decided that they were coming to FAMU, Georgia, also known as Atlanta. And so on October 4th, we won't be in Idabena, Mississippi, hot off the press. We will play Mississippi Valley State University in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. It's their home game. It was their choice. We were set to go out to Idabena. I don't know where we were going to stay, with Jackson, I guess. We were going to bring some people because we travel well. But as I told the guys on yesterday, I had to tip out of one of the sessions to hop on that call. And as I told them, I said, it's their game, but it's our stick. Now, y'all coming to our home. When y'all roll up in Mercedes-Benz, that's our house. And so...
Ooh, we love this spice. We love it. We love this spice. Auntie got out there and started throwing haymakers. She said, it's y'all game. Y'all can do what y'all want to. We was going to come to Mississippi, but y'all want to come to Atlanta? That's our home. And I hate to say it, Mississippi Valley State, I hope y'all got paid a whole lot of money. I don't know what y'all did. Whatever you did, congratulations. Y'all can get whooped. I'm going to tell you what kind of whoop you're going to get. You're going to get whooped like me when I used to tell my parents that the progress report didn't come out on progress report day. Woo!
There it is. Here's my pencil. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. FAMU and Mississippi Valley State played in Tallahassee last year, right? Mississippi Valley State beat FAMU in Tallahassee last year, right? On the football field.
You're right. Don't think it's gonna happen again. Food can't get food again. Let me tell y'all, I'm willing to bet whatever it costs and or takes. The money is on the Rattlers. And Reggie, you want to bet? You want to bet 20 pack, 24 pack, 48 pack, 64 pack? You want a case? You want a keg? I'll go get you one of them barrels.
Mississippi Valley State. They beat them in Tallahassee and snapped their 23-game home winning streak. Now, last thing on this game is this is a game set of former Florida State greats. Terrell Buckley and James Colsey are now the head coaches, I believe.
Correct.
They played separately. I don't think they played together on the same team. But they are heading up both of these teams. So and if you know anything about Florida State, the two black teams that everybody supported before, you had affiliations with Florida State and Miami in the early 90s, late 80s. So everybody supports them. FAMU, last time they played in the Celebration Bowl in Mercedes thing, they won. They think it's going to basically be a home game for FAMU. And I expect it to be. New folks from Mississippi gonna be there. They gonna show up. They coming to the city. No shade.
Oh boy, ain't that a tree outside? There's a whole damn tree. Speaking of shade, in this case, lights. Tuskegee is set to host their first night game in school history. Let me tell y'all what is going to be chaotic. Chaos, as Reggie says. This the first night game. That means we could tailgate all day.
In Tuskegee, let me tell you who's good at tailgating. Tuskegee.
First night game ever. We used to night games. That's something we are very used to. But them, your first ever, you gotta. I hate this because I think about this from like a chapter point of view. Now we got a whole nother. That's basically another homecoming. Now we gotta re-up all the money again. Whatever the double it. Double it.
So,
and everybody from everywhere is gonna be trying to come to the first night game.
Oh, all of the Black Student Union at Auburn gonna be there. They're gonna be there full maroon and gold. Let me tell you. So I guess you're wondering why Tuskegee hasn't had a night game is because the stadium is a smaller school. We do have tiers in HBCU schools as well. It's a smaller school, so the size of the stadium never allowed for them to have lighting, but they have done a recent renovation and they have added lights and lighting. So now, for the first time in 100 years, 1925, they will have a night game. And let me tell you, you right, the tailgating is going to be fire. And let me tell you what, I really might go to this game just to hear ball and parlay while they drunk at night with the stadium lights on. You know how crazy that's going to be?
Yeah, just don't drop the ball on this. If I remember correctly, I think that Georgia Power or Alabama Power basically set them up with these lights. Great job.
Alabama
Thank you guys
Power.
Thank you guys for supporting HBCUs. That cannot be said enough.
They're playing Central State. I might be there.
Right. That's gonna be crazy. That is gonna be a time.
As soon as they posted this, shout out to Lights on. As soon as they posted this, I sent it to everybody I know in Tuskegee. I sent it to everybody. 99% of them responded and was like, I will be there. I said, y'all got to go back there in like 4 weeks for a homecoming. They said, don't matter. I will be at both.
Do not care. First night game. As a person who's worked for sports teams, The night game feel is different. The fact that you've never had one before, it's a completely different production. That means that people get good and lick it up. You can drink all day, boy, and then go in there and cut a fool in the game. Oh my God.
Swag schools got the RVs. Them RVs gonna be
Exactly.
crazy. Oh, but
Man.
y'all might as well have a bye week that week. Don't even September. I know you're not because it's the first
Or
week.
don't.
but
Or
matter.
don't. We don't care. What we don't care about is Auburn Tiger football. Is Cam Newton coming back? If he ain't coming back, we don't matter. Don't matter, don't care.
All right.
Inconsequential. In more HBCU news, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. The man, the myth, the legend, Dawson Odums, former head coach of Norfolk State and Southern, has been selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars to be a member of the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship Program. This is the diversity program that we've talked about at length for the NFL. It gets HBCU coaches an opportunity to meet, talk, and network, as well as learn from NFL coaches. It's a fantastic program. I wish they just did more of it. But congratulations to Coach Odums.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Odums. This is part of the next step. I mean, if Coach Odums is probably one of the coaches that I think kind of gets a raw deal. I think he did really well at Southern for what he had to go in and kind of clean up from the Stump Mitchell years. So I didn't agree with them letting him go. It is what it is. He went to Norfolk State. They let him go. But if you remember, he got cheated against FAMU. Should have beat South Carolina State. And then they would have been in the MEAC championship game if it wasn't for those two games. So he always seems to be on the wrong end of bad luck when it came to coaching. But he's a damn good coach. And I'm just happy to see that he's getting recognized and having the opportunity to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars and work with Bill under the Bill Walsh Fellowship Program. Jacksonville, this is beneficial to you too, because y'all need some good press when it comes to the offseason.
Boy, yeah.
So this is it.
Only person with worse press than you is the Patriots. So take what you can get and get what you can take. No Diddy.
No baby oil.
No, for sure not. And I think that concludes the HBCU portion of the Splashcast. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Always remember, support HBCUs. Send them some money. And by the way, send it to us because we Black creators trying to make a world. Outside of that, we shall come back. Reggie has peer pressured me into drinking. So I'm going to have one. Singular old-fashioned made strong by my boy Bart the Bartesian, which is really like 3 old-fashions. So bear with me here a moment.
Same. I'm going to have the same. I'm not going to have an old-fashioned, but I got the glass that's really 3 drinks in one. So I'm going to make one hefty.
And we all have the same glasses from Amazon.
No. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I got 8 of them in there right now. All right. We'll be right back. Reggie is crazy.
Hey, Splashcast fans. Are you ready to take your obsession to the next level? Join the Splashcast community on Instagram and our own Facebook page for an immersive experience like never before. Get in on the action with lively discussions, fiery debates, and a community that's as passionate as you are. Our social media platforms are buzzing with the latest podcast news, exclusive updates, and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. Don't miss out on the chance to connect with fellow Splashcast enthusiasts. Dive into the conversation, share your thoughts, and be part of something bigger. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, or go to www.splashcast.com to join now.
We are back, and it is time to talk a little bit of hoops.
Talk a little bit of hoops, but before we start, make sure you do what? Like, follow, and subscribe. Tell a friend.
And take a sip. Don't trip. Great place
stand
to
up, and you won't.
start here.
Drinking sitting down can be dangerous.
Can it be? You can't drink sitting down. I think we got bigger issues.
Possibly. Where we starting in basketball?
We are starting with Angel Reese, and we are starting right here. We're gonna go here, and y'all gonna see this. This is Angel Reese, new Reebok shoe and new logo. I am impressed. I think that this is a big swing,
Fantastic shoe,
and a great swing for Shaquille O'Neal and Allen Iverson, who are in very prominent positions with Reebok as they continue to bring the brand back. I think that when so many of these athlete logos kind of look all the same, hers is individually hers. I think that it does remind me a little bit of the King Griffey Jr. I think it's just a swoop, but I like the A and the halo. It's a nice touch. You can tell it was well thought out. They nailed this one. Great job.
All right, before I say anything, y'all make sure y'all jump in the comments and in the messages and at Norwood and tell him that he needs to go ahead and launch his podcast where he talks about the sports, money, advertising, and back end and back office side of sports. I never would have really paid attention to this until you started breaking down. I think it really all started with Sabrina Ionescu. Yeah. And then it went to different shoes, and we kind of advocated for Asia Wilson, and she got hers. And now that WNBA is blowing up, and Angel Reese, while you may not think, I'm not even going to bring up the whole rivalry. She is probably the most marketable player in the WNBA right now. And
at first, I wanted to fight because y'all put that in the group, and I'm like, ain't no way. And then I looked, and I would have to look at her total Q score to know that. But she has more followers than Caitlin Clark. And that's not the end all be all, but that is a very good representation of your marketability.
Her brand is I'm not gonna say fully developed, because your brand, when it develops, it becomes versatile. And I think right now she's more of the Bayou Barbie. But I hold on, let me get my thought. So I do think that her brand is growing at an exponential rate, and it's going to grow with her. And to have a shoe that looks damn good, and to be the center of controversy, Reebok definitely hit it out of the park with this. And shout out to the rolling it out right now, right after all of that stuff.
And the more that I thought about it, it's kind of the thing, but like Angel Reese is marketable because she's more than a basketball player. For all intents and purposes, I know we're going to bring this up. Y'all might get mad. I don't care. Caitlin Clark is just a basketball player. Outside of that, there is nothing there. And Larry was still marketable. Larry was talkative. Larry has sneakers.
No, he didn't. They both signed the Converse, and they had the same. That was back when nobody had individual sneakers.
You're right. But I mean, but they also had a game. You remember, boy, I'm dating myself now. Jesus. Magic versus Bird. But Angel Reese is more suited for today because she's her own individual personality. She's a podcaster, and she's an elite basketball player. So for me, it's very interesting to see how this plays out. And it's interesting that she gets her signature shoe before Caitlin. And I know that's gonna make people mad, but that's one of the benefits of not being a Nike athlete is there's just more clearance in Reebok. And I think that we're seeing that a lot now with the men and Skechers, where, hey, I can be the man over here, or SGA Converse. There are just different avenues for you to get your things out to people instead of being log jammed as trying to be the top Nike athlete. Or, I mean, Anthony Edwards got Adidas sold up. That's no allows. But
call back to the mic check.
Right, different. Going with some of these smaller non-traditional brands give you an opportunity to have a lot more visibility, to be the A mic instead of A, B, C, D, E, F, G all the way down. So I'm happy for Angel Reese. I'm excited for what Reebok has. I think that this sneaker is gonna it's one that men can wear for sure, especially if it comes out, clearly the pink, but just like what Asia did, the next shoe was blue. I think that they'll probably do something very similar. And
this is set up to be the Allen Iverson. This is the female Allen Iverson shoe. You remember with the different colors of the toe? It's set up just like
I
that.
will say this is probably a really good. I look at things like this, the team sneaker. You can make this sneaker in every color, black and blue, black and red, white and red. Just kill it.
Neon colors, floral.
Exactly.
Like you don't have floral paint.
Exactly.
So, final thought
I think
for me.
it's fantastic.
Final thought for me. We did a lot of, and I'm not going to say there was a lot of coverage around NFL players, NBA players, when they sign large contracts and they get their brand out there. Jalen Hurts being one. We highlighted his entire team. Rightfully so. I think it was all women. Correct. And then we highlighted other people's teams. I would love to know who is Angel Reese's team, her publicist, her manager. Who are all of these people? Because the way that she's navigating this space in year 2, they are doing a phenomenal job. I don't think they've missed yet.
It's not really year 2 for her. I kind of put her in the same category as those of her. Like the way that women's basketball is very similar to how European men's basketball is. You've been a star. You've been a star since she left Maryland. She's been a superstar. So I feel like by now, which is actually, I think, the better transition is you used to having money already. You're used to being in the spotlight. So now, it's a lot easier for you to focus on, what the main thing is, which is just being focused on being a great basketball player. And y'all keep talking about these rebounds. I don't care. If anybody's ever played basketball before, the person who gets the ball is the person who wants the ball, yo. What she get, nobody's stopping her. If y'all don't like it, do something about it. Y'all know that's always my answer to everything. Stop talking, do something to them. That's it.
Hey man, I baited y'all too. I baited all of y'all. Shout out to, and I didn't want to, but it was too good. I posted Caitlin Clark a reel when she broke the record, and I noticed all the comments, and I noticed who commented, and I saw the rhetoric. And then when I posted Angel Reese, I noticed who commented, and I noticed who didn't, and I saw there is a
cultural divide.
Past cultural. There is a huge divide when it comes to Angel Reese and the talking around her. There was always an excuse of why she isn't good at what she does. And I think the reason I made that post, and I wanted to, because you said something very, very important about it. If this were a man doing what she was doing, if this was a man doing what she was doing, i.e. Dennis Rodman or Clint Capella or hell, Rudy Gobert, or any of those people that are offensively challenged, but rebound or play defense at a high clip, we would be praising them. Dennis Rodman is a top 75 player of all time.
She's in her second year. She's averaging 10 points, 12 rebounds, basically 3 assists and 2 steals. You know how happy we would be if we could get that out of Clint Capella every night?
And you know what's funny? Y'all gonna mess around and she really gonna develop a jump shot. She gonna Onyeka Okongwu y'all, and then y'all gonna be real mad.
Right, and that's the thing. She's in her second year, and I'm safe to say she's, if not leading the league in rebounds, she's top 3. Yeah, do y'all not? That's the part that frustrates me about y'all new Johnny come lately to women's basketball. Y'all will give men 2, 3, 4, 5. How long we've been watching, waiting on Zion to be good for any real stretch of basketball? You give these guys Jalen Green. We'll give these guys all the time in the world to develop, and they don't develop. None of these guys actually ever add anything to their game, Ben Simmons. And these girls actually go in the offseason and be like, hey, I need to do what? And then they come back with that. So, yeah, give her 2 or 3 seasons. She's going to be a problem for y'all, and I hope she destroys all of you.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Yep. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Where do you want to start? You want to start with the hats? You want to start with the finals? You want to start with a roundup? You want to start with the street names? Where do you want to start when it comes to this NBA finals and playoffs?
We're going to start with the foolishness first, and then we will actually back into the important parts of this. So, Knicks lost. We knew the Knicks was going to lose because the Knicks are idiots. I've supported the Knicks all season, and then as soon as y'all get to the first place that looks like something good, y'all act completely different. And that's why we all hate you. I like the team. I like the rebuild mostly. I will go to my grave saying that y'all should not have traded 5 first-round picks from Mikal Bridges. That was stupid. That is the nail in the coffin. Y'all did not have any depth, and now you gave up 5 first-round picks. Awful. Terrible. Tumultuous. Y'all make the DeJounte Murray trade look like, whoo, that's easy money. Great job. So these Game 7 hats were stupid. You were never going to Game 7, and I hope that the children in Uganda who wear these hats give it another meaning.
Why? Okay, y'all call me corporate raider in the group sometimes. Let's
send these hats to OKC, and if they go to Game 7, they can win.
Or just keep them. Y'all gonna make it to a Game 7 eventually. It might not be the Eastern Conference Finals again. It could be, the first round or the second.
Game 7 of the season, y'all put these on. Stupid ass.
Hey, you can have that. But we told y'all there were 2 things that y'all did that we saw, and I was like, oh, they're gonna lose. Y'all named them damn street signs. Y'all renamed the streets, and then y'all came out with these Game 7 hats. I understand it. This is a step below stupidity of tattooing the Super Bowl champion in July tattoo. The only difference is you can't get rid of the tattoo as easily. You were smart by with this hat making it Game 7 though, but not putting versus anybody. So you could have these for forever. Now it'll be just your luck that you do have these forever and you never make it to a Game 7 again. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna kick y'all when y'all down. I'm gonna leave that to Norwood and the rest of the internet. They've been stomping. They've been stomping y'all.
And we said this in the group. Why are y'all doing all this celebrating for a semifinal win? It means nothing.
They haven't been here in so long, and you'll never get back.
It means absolutely nothing. Like, as a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost, we don't even champion that. It's just like, bro, that didn't go the way we thought it was. It was great until it wasn't. Y'all, on the other hand, got 2 playoff series and then think that, I guess, y'all done. And now you look at your team, your hair is uneven, your money is funny. Y'all might be done for real.
You ain't that cute.
and I already saw today. Let me see if I can find it real quick where they're talking.
They sick of our cat.
Here it is right here. New York Knicks actively evaluating the roster. You went from naming street signs to now that people gonna be on different teams. That's crazy.
And firing y'all coach. Now I will say,
bring him back. Bring him on back. I like Tibbs. I like what he do. That 5-man rotation, everybody play the whole game. Great.
No, great. Tibbs sealed his deal when he decided to play everybody, and then they won 2 games. I said, well, would you look at that? Would you play your whole rotation, or at least half of it? You win. What's interesting for this is I think everybody's going to have revisionist history because, and I do think that they played it wrong, but you couldn't have, you could have, but you couldn't have predicted, but you should have been cautious.
What did you say that you could not have predicted? Because I'm going to push back and say that I think I predicted it.
we've been potting too long. You know exactly where I'm going. If you would have kept 3 of those picks, 2 of those picks, you would have been in the running for Giannis right now. He said it multiple times this year. We kind of talked about it, but nobody really talked about it. He said, I love to see European players, and I just need to see them in large markets. He named New York, he named LA, and then he also said other places like Houston or Chicago. But he really named New York and LA first. And now he's being linked to, we don't have it on the list, so I can say that now.
Toronto.
He's being linked to Toronto, which is the New York of Canada. Y'all could have, if you looked at the roster 3 years ago, they had dysfunction 1 year after winning the title. And you could have seen that Giannis was like, hey, man, y'all better, when they went and got Dame, I would have been clearing cap space right then and there. I'd have been like, oh, yeah, this ain't going to work out. Dame 35.
We also just saw the story with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Like, Milwaukee doesn't keep their guys forever. It's just not the way that it works out, unfortunately. That's a lot.
It's a mid market. Mid markets, It's hard to keep. You get so many more opportunities. You see Giannis, he was over there in San Francisco.
Yep. But I mean,
Masai
Ujiri does great with the African descent players. I can understand how Toronto makes.
They got a huge Greek community
a ton
in
of
Toronto
sense.
too.
And I mean, also Toronto does have the chips that if you want, Scotty or Brandon Ingram or RJ Barrett.
They're talking about making the 3. Giannis, Ingram, Scotty, 3, 4, 5.
Nope, hell no. You're
can't shoot.
You're giving me. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you give me Giannis, I gotta have Scotty and Scotty. No, they're
and
just
RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett and picks is what I'm just telling you from that article that we read. Those 3 players are who they're trying to make a big 3 out of.
You smoking dope. You are smoking, and I'm not talking about the good dope. I'm talking about that heron.
Heron.
Hey, the krills, as the New Yorkers call them. Ain't no way. You think I'm going to trade you, Giannis, and you going to give me New York Knicks leftovers? Hey, I'll slap you.
Nah, he's gonna go to Houston, but I mean, he's interested in Toronto. But New York, you would have had.
I think for everybody is San Antonio. If you don't understand that you should be trying to play with Victor Wembanyama,
not the answer for everybody. That is the answer for 2 teams: San Antonio and Milwaukee. Everybody else will be highly upset, except for maybe OKC.
Hey, you can get this whole team in San Antonio. If it ain't Stephon Castle and it ain't Victor Wembanyama, you can have it. Send me Giannis, Keldon, Devin, Jeremy. I know the team. I know everybody first name basis. You can all go. Hey, De'Aaron, peace, my brother. Take it easy. And we'll sign and trade you. We need to extend you before we're willing to do whatever it takes to get you to wherever the hell you need to be. Because we ain't going.
And then go sign Lonzo Ball. And they'll be just and that's the way the new
don't need Lonzo.
Going.
You got Stephon. You got Stephon Castle.
Well, you need a team. Lonzo's a good 6 man.
Yeah, I would like Lonzo. I told y'all can get if y'all want trade, send me Josh Giddey and Lonzo Ball. We act like Trae Young never existed.
No,
and he on Jordan. jump man. But congratulations to the Knicks for being idiots. Y'all will never have anything nice. Y'all don't deserve nice things. And speaking of people who don't like nice things, Mariah Mills reportedly contacted Tony Busby.
We're going to take me a drink right now before we
against Zion Williamson. Boy, the problem that literally both of them keep getting bigger. All 3 of them keep getting bigger, honestly. Busby keep getting bigger, but you better leave Jay-Z alone. Mariah Mills, every time I see her, look like she getting bigger. And Zion getting bigger. Boy, the biggest.
Yeah, but it's 3 different ways. One guy's full of hot air. Busby's bullshit. Zion full of food. And Mariah Mills got a air pump connected to her body. She's that's all she do.
Every time I see Mariah Mills, I get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And Tony
Yeah.
Busby, you have just become the, like, you know how when people talk about lawyers and they say, oh, he's an ambulance chaser, that's like, oh, that's like despicable. You're the worst of the worst when it comes to lawyers. You are a black man chaser. Whew. You find you, and you know what the going rate is. It's always $30 million for a black man.
30, 40, 50 million. Going for let me get 2% of that. Be like, bro, and the thing is, when this happened, I told y'all this was gonna happen. That's the funny thing, because the first lawsuit came out and they said it was anonymous. And I was like, it's got to be two people. It's got to be whoever that was stalking and they got to fighting, or it's Mariah Mills. Well, it wasn't Mariah Mills, but now it is Mariah Mills plus the other people they got to fight. Zion, you need to go play in San Antonio. Maybe you play around with some big
Don't
women.
worry about it. They hired somebody to fire him. You going somewhere else, my boy. You're going somewhere else. You get the hell out of New Orleans. Now I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I'd do if it was me. Let me get him on the fastest thing, smoking to New York City.
Really?
Yeah. I've always said, send Zion to New York. They're never not gonna take the guy, and you could get something back. Yeah, give me Mikal. I will honestly just send me Mikal Bridges back. 1 for 1. I get to do a salary dump. You get this guy.
Hell no. I'm gonna throw something out there. Capitalize on your moment. Capitalize on your moment. Zion needs a good point guard. He needs somebody to be able to give him the ball. Capitalize on your moment. You got a lot of players that you probably could trade.
Don't you say Atlanta?
Indiana.
Oh, hey, Reggie, is you on the dope?
Put Pascal at the 3 and Zion at the 4.
No. Why am I going to mess up this perfectly balanced team of reasonably priced players and stars for Zion Williamson?
Oh yeah, stars, not superstars. They got 2 stars.
Yeah. 2 of them possible. I mean, yeah, I guess it's 2. I like Miles Turner. I think that he's a little bit.
Well, they trying not to pay him now.
That's fine. Atlanta will take him.
No, they won't. No, they won't, because I've been saying that since we had a podcast, and you have argued me down about that every time. I
mean, yeah, but I think we also only have 1 center under contract, so we will take him. We surely will. We
ain't gonna pay him. We can't pay him. He want. Well, he
yes,
don't
we
want
can.
a lot of money come down.
Hey, bro, you can get Niang. You get Terrence Mann. We can make some for him. Yes. But overall, Zion, bro, you
pull out, bro. Just pull out. Pull out of New Orleans.
No.
Pull out of everything.
No, stop pulling out of everything. Spend some time by yourself. Have some me time is what we used to call it back in the day. That's what you need to get back to. Because every time you start putting in and pulling out, you pull out a problem.
Yeah, bro. Just listen to Cat Williams. Go get you a bottle.
I sound like somebody else. Well, every time you go, you start pulling out a problem every time, son.
Bruh, just stop. Just get a moment of clarity. Whatever you need to do to get a moment of clarity before you make the decision.
Many moments of clarity. That's his problem. You need to try that retention thing they be talking about, bro. Because
cool. You know, it's easy to do retention when you don't have $150 million.
Oh, he ain't retaining a thing, boy. You're not retaining those
at 20, 23, 22. You look, man. All right. I'm realistic about it. I know where I was at 23. And if you gave me $150 million, and put me in New Orleans with access to all of the scum,
ain't going. That's like my FAMU application. I know I'm not gonna make it here. I know I ain't gonna make it.
Tennessee
why
State
you keep shredding that application? Because I'm not going. I have to graduate. I'm not coming back to Augusta. So no.
Tennessee State, bro. They showed me everything but academic buildings. I said, you know what? This may not be for me. They
ain't
show
going.
me.
Ain't going. And sometimes you just have to be an adult about it and say, hey, man, this ain't for me. But in much doper news, recently, a big fan of Kevin Durant, his grandmother, who's also a large Kevin Durant fan, she had all the jerseys, the OKC jersey. You see her there in the Sonics jersey.
Sonics jersey is crazy.
Yeah. But they buried her. They put the jersey in her casket. And then, you know, Kevin Durant with my condolences. That was super dope to me. And it was just cool to kind of see all of the jerseys and stuff that she had of his. She was like a diehard KD fan. And, you know, as much as, you know, he's mercurial and weird and all the rest of those things, it was good to see him kind of, you know, hop out and say, hey, man, rest in peace to your grandmother. I appreciate the love. That was dope.
Hey, man, this is what social media is supposed to be used for, right? Kevin Durant is he's one of the most accessible stars social media forever by using social media. He will respond to you and give you whatever energy you entertain.
Yeah, he's gonna meet you where you at, man. At
this point, I do know that Kevin Durant, there's a lot of stories like this of Kevin Durant just being a good human. And I'm happy that I'm sad because of he lost his grandmother. Not Kevin Durant, but this fan lost his grandmother. But I'm happy that Kevin Durant was able to reach out to them and make that moment a special moment that they'll never forget and kind of ease the burden of grief. We've both been through grief while we've had this podcast, especially for grandmothers.
Absolutely.
So it's something that never goes away. So Kevin Durant is that is kudos to you, man. Kudos to you.
And now for the feature presentation. Let's start here. Oh, let's start with this first. Eastern Conference MVP Siakam won by 1 vote over Tyrese Halliburton. If you see in the video, Tyrese pulled they call it the Drewski, where you think that you're gonna win the MVP and then somebody else gets it. I mean, this is a great situation for both players to be in. I actually said that if Indiana was going to win, Pascal Siakam was going to be the linchpin to see if it gets it done. And he, in fact, has moved the needle. His ability to get 20 points, 7-8 rebounds a game, be consistent. You got to give him credit. And I'll be the first person to say, I called his contract an overpay. And then he made me a believer. Then I picked the Pacers before everybody else. So I've been on both sides of this. Great season.
Pascal. Oh, go ahead. I thought you were done.
Great season, great series. Kudos.
I think Pascal won this. Tyrese Halliburton has been good since they've had this run. The Pacers have been the best team in the Eastern Conference since the All-Star break. And they've been the number 2 team in the league behind OKC since the All-Star break. So them meeting each other in the finals really ain't a surprise. But Pascal Siakam, the way that they beat the Knicks, Pascal Siakam took he shot like 28% from 3 this year. He shot 40% in the Eastern Conference Final. Pascal Siakam elevated his game. I think that plus the fact that Tyrese Halliburton had a couple games that they lost where he had 8 points, had like 5, he was like shot like 30%.
He admittedly has some struggles.
Where Pascal ain't struggled at all. Pascal, when they lost, he was the only one scoring.
Right.
Consistent. And I think that's what won him the Eastern Conference MVP was consistency.
And I will say this about Pascal is that there are different iterations of players that you kind of eyeball and say, oh, they got to be better than Pascal. But when you really look at a guy who can give you 20 points and 7, 8, 9 rebounds a game efficiently and effectively, he kind of, as good as Evan Mobley is,
he'd be cooking all of them.
Evan Mobley can't really, at this point, he can't go over about 20 points. He's just not going to be able to do that. So Pascal's just going to always kind of be he's going to be a little bit more effective. And you're not really, and that's why I was always saying, hey, man, Cleveland is cool, but you don't have enough points. The Pacers, and I know y'all hear it every week, but once they scored 160 points, I said, oh, this is different. everybody on this team get you 15, 20 points a night. And I'm going to tell y'all this. New York Knicks, shout out to Obi Toppin. Y'all got rid of him. He has continuously been an intricate part of the reason that this team is successful. He gets you 16, 17, 18, 19 points a game and dunk your face off. And I'm talking about mid-game dunk contest dunks, which sway the room, which had Indiana going crazy. When he hit that double pump, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the ultimate Swiss Army knife. And it's all about how you use players. And they were trying to make Obi, and sometimes all these players have all this talent, but they're not built to be the guy, the one or the two. Obi Toppin coming out, he's the number 17 on the 7 player on that team. He fits that role, whatever they need. You need 5 rebounds and 2 blocks, I got you. You need 4 steals and an electrifying dunk, I got you. You need one game, he scored 20 points. Was hitting threes, knockout threes. He knocked out the Knicks. He actually hit the 3 that pretty much ended the series.
You could have used a guy like Obi Toppin off the bench.
New York Knicks. No, they couldn't because they wouldn't have played him. Shout out to you. And we'll talk about it when we get to the. Well, we here now the Eastern Conference. Shout out to you, Thibodeau. This is how I know they think you worried about your job. You started playing 10 players. You played 10 players. I said, oh yeah, he worried. He done changed his whole rotation, and then they messed around and won. I think Tom Thibodeau breaking the norm, and then actually winning, and then going back to the norm and getting eliminated seals his fate.
What you mean? Wait. Now, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, Jalen Brunson endorsed him, so then maybe they won't lose him. Yeah, but I do think they need to probably.
He's about to become. You know how we all have a coach that we like more to be on a team than not be on a team. That's where I'm starting to get with Tibbs.
Oh, Mark Richt.
Yeah,
that's your Mark Richt.
Yeah. Hey, come on, man.
That's fine. I couldn't argue.
And Billy Napier. That's who you are. Hey, bro. You're better for everybody when you continuously coach this team, because there's just going to be a cap on this team because of the way your philosophy, and you're rigid. You're not going to change your philosophy. You're going to play them 6.5 players that you got. And that's the reason that it's a very difficult situation for me to blame the GM, Leon Rose, for getting. I mean, he did his best to get his 6 best players. Because why would I have a team like the Pacers and have 10 good players if he only gonna play 6? So I'm gonna maximize the guys he's gonna put on the floor. So until Tibbs changes his style, which he ain't, they're gonna play 6 players and they're gonna lose. And I want to tell y'all this, and I'm going to tell y'all every week until y'all get it. The NBA has fundamentally changed with the second apron. You're going to see the results of that going forward. If you can't put together a team of depth and players who you got to be good at scouting now. If your team isn't already into the draft like I am looking at, hey, who are we picking? You've lost. You're going to have to be able to find rookies that can play. You're foreign guys who can play, and veterans who fit into your style of play. If you're not doing that, you're only going to get 2, maybe 3. You get 2 stars and maybe somebody else. But the harder you go for that 3rd star, that's going to crush your depth. Period.
Yeah. I think it's not going to be easier. But I do think scouting will be a little bit more streamlined because it's a fallout from NIL that we talked about. We talked about it last week, how
you're right.
Only 100
players. Right.
100 players.
300. You're right.
But for you 100 players, just know that loosh, you got to play right now because, as you said, the second apron will not allow you to go get a Band-Aid. You either have to get a utility type player that outplays their contract, which means you're not gonna keep them, or you got to keep a rookie for 4 years plus 1. and you won't do it.
And
so
that's the
you won't have to.
combination of what OKC has. If you look at
that was my next point. And Indiana, they
and
built
you look
the
at the
team.
Pacers, you got Caruso, you got TJ McConnell, you got Lou Dort, you got Nembhard, you got the Obi Toppin, Diamond in the Rough. You got to find these guys and get them to play into your system. And you need to be able to go 8, 9, 10 deep right now. Especially these two teams are going to be like this for the future. And if you don't got
years.
And if you don't got guys to stack up with them, cool. I look at the Lakers. Cool, you got LeBron and Luka. What else? You ain't finna beat them with 2 players.
Not OKC. And OKC about to be good for the next decade.
Correct.
They set up for and Utah.
And yes, Utah is a sleeping giant. And
there's something I'm gonna talk about with all of that.
But with the Pacers, if the Pacers are willing to stay committed and everybody take reasonable contracts, which is kind of tricky because when the money comes, the answer is to take it. But if they can all kind of keep reasonable contracts, which you're going to get a salary bump anyway from the TV deal, then, I mean, if Nembhard doesn't want to take the bank, or, Miles Turner signs for something reasonable, which I think that he probably has to do because if you look at his counting stats, they're not world beater stats. I still think that there are some teams that will, like the Lakers, I think might try to press the issue.
And the Lakers been trying to get Miles Turner for like 3 years.
Right.
He's the answer for them.
Right.
That's how they play.
But Miles Turner, if you can find a guy who's big and can also shoot threes and then protect the rim, you're right. That's exactly what you're looking for. That's what Isaiah Hartenstein is. If you can do that, then yeah. Go back and look.
He don't not like Miles Turner. No, he's probably a 33%, 31% 3-point shooter.
Yeah, but he's also 7 feet tall and an elite rim protector. I don't need you to be an elite shooter. I need you to be I just need you to be able to say, hey, don't leave him open. He ain't self-check out there in the corner. If you leave him open, he'll knock it down.
Like a Thomas Bryant type guy. That's what he did. He had 3 threes in a row in game 6.
Exactly.
I was like, y'all know about to lose. That's it. He had 3 in a row. They went up by 10. I said, ooh.
Closing time. Last call. It's over, baby. And I'm so happy.
What they going to do before we move on? What they going to do with Cat? Cat, as soon as they lost, they was like, yo. And I saw it when they highlighted the loss and they showed Cat dropping on that pick and roll. And shout out to Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle makes coaching look real easy. If you don't stop it, I'm going to run it every time. And that's what he did. I ran the pick and roll every single time. And Cat dropped off to try to guard Miles Turner for some reason and let Tyrese Halliburton get going. And that was that. And they crushed him.
That's their fault. That's the Knicks' fault. You got stupid team construction. That's the reason you don't have Mikal Bridges and you don't have OG Anunoby. Individually, good players. But if you look at the player, they're redundant. Neither one of those guys really going to be good rebounders. They're good perimeter defenders. But what you have in one, you have in the other. They need a legitimate stretch four. I know y'all probably don't want to hear it. Don't care. John Collins will be a perfect guy for that. He's reasonably priced. He can play the 5 when he could really play the 5 the whole time with Karl Anthony Towns, to be completely honest. But he's a rim protector. He's a better defender. And then you also get Cat off the 5. But Cat could help. But the Mikal Bridges is the problem. I hate to say it, and it ain't his fault. The team just don't make sense. It's too small. You got Josh Hart doing too much. Him rebounding is a testament to his effort, but that's not sustainable or reasonable to be completely honest.
That is my point. I think Mikal Bridges, for what you paid for him, was wrong. But I think he can fit on this team. I think that they need Josh Hart to come off the bench. He needs to anchor the second squad, which is what he's really good at doing. He's really good at anchoring a squad. He may not be the best shooter, the best defender, the best this, but he's going to get everybody in the right position, right? He could not guard in the starting lineup, putting him at the 2 and Brunson at the 1 and OG at the 3, and Mikal at the 4. You take away your advantage.
Where are you getting your boards?
You got to start. Really, you got to put. I know that sucks. He's 6'4", and he's your best rebounder,
that ain't gonna
awful.
work. That ain't
which is awful.
It ain't gonna work. If he's when you have Julius and Mitchell, they gonna do their thing no matter what.
They're gonna get you 20 to 25 rebounds.
Exactly. Then whatever else Josh Hart gets, thank you. You're making our job easier. But when you're saying, "Hey, Josh Hart, I need you to be our second leading rebounder," your team is broken, and you don't have a bench.
I just think he needs to come off the bench, and I think what it is, you really need Mitchell Robinson to come off the bench, and you need to get like you said, a John Collins. I don't even know who else you could really get.
That's the reason that Pascal Siakam is so valuable. Is he's a guy who can get you 20 points, get you 7, 8, 9 rebounds consistently.
3 assists.
That is the other guys who do that. I mean, like Cleveland, you got Mobley, but where you end up losing is Jared Allen can't get you enough points. He can't score enough points to keep you in the game with the Pacers.
There's no, you can't afford anybody else. That's the thing. The players that you need, you can afford John Collins. Naz Reid would be crazy. But he's not a rim protector. He's kind of redundant about Cat though.
That's the reason I think that OG Anunoby is the guy who goes, because for $40 million, what he's getting paid, you can get a guy.
Who's gonna trade for OG Anunoby at $45 million?
Oh, plenty of people. OG's worth it. Sold. Checkbox.
Ooh, you said that too. Now you said OG was an overpay. You also said Pascal was an overpay.
Yes.
And you said Jalen Brunson was an overpay.
Hold on. So Jalen Brunson. Wait. Hold on. Number one, I atoned for my sins with Jalen Brunson last year. You bringing up old shit now. No,
I'm just highlighting the pattern. Highlighting the pattern.
I said I was wrong, and I was wrong. And I was wrong about Pascal, but I was right before everybody else.
Oh, okay.
I was right. Hey,
big rationalize. You're a good rationalizer, bro.
I admit I said I was wrong about Pascal, but once I made a mistake, I was like, hey, and that's the reason y'all go back, listen to the old part. I told y'all, I said, hey, Pascal Siakam is the most valuable player out of everybody in this series. He is going to make or break it for the Pacers, and he did. So, but I think that if you look at Mikal Bridges and you look at OG Anunoby at $45 million, is Mikal Bridges as good as OG Anunoby? Hell no, not no. But that I think he's at like $20-25 million. I can't trade and get a guy for $40 million at that price. I need, and the guys who play the stretch 4 that are good are $40 million. Now,
the thing is, OG was your second best player every game of this series.
No, Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns honestly the best player on the Knicks. I don't care what nobody say. Jalen Brunson
should be the best player. But what I'm saying is when Jalen Brunson was cooking, Karl Anthony Towns, I think they had one game where they both had a good game together. Outside of that, it was OG that was like OG was good enough. And when they realized that he's bigger than everybody that guards him on the Pacers outside of the back in the backcourt, I was like, Tibbs, you should give him the ball every time. He should have been killing Nembhard. He should have been killing, and he did the games that they won. And then Tibbs, you just stopped doing it.
I think that, and y'all know this is a John Collins podcast because I'm a John Collins fan. He is the only guy I know who could probably do 20 and 10, and it's not going to cost you $40 million. I mean, Lauri Markkanen standing next to him. Lauri's a better shooter, but that's literally the only thing that Lauri does better than John Collins. And outside of that, there's just not many people who are that tall who can score and defend and rebound.
That people are willing to trade you. Yeah, I mean Houston got one, and he kind of fell in the rotation.
They're not trading him.
Oh boy,
they ain't trading him.
Jabari is it? No, not is it Jabari?
Yeah, Jabari. Yeah, Jabari Smith. Yeah,
he's the one. He's one that they should trade.
No, they ain't. No, because I hate to say it, but when the rubber met the road, he was more consistent basketball player than Jalen Green.
And he was hitting them threes, bro, at the 4.
Right.
Like,
that ability to be a 4 and space the floor, you gotta have that now. If you don't have it, that's the reason you look at a guy like Paolo. Paolo is scary. Those guys, or hey, Chet, Hartenstein letting Chet play the 4 presents a problem because it spaces the floor with a tall ass guy. Like, I hate to say it, but height is king right now.
Yeah, I mean, basketball is evolving. Sports evolves. That's why we got 6'10" receivers, because if you can't play the 6'10" guard position and you a 6'10" center, you ain't real unless you Hartenstein, who has like a distinct package of basketball moves. Had to make sure I clarify.
Yeah,
then
there are no more Hartensteins laying around. He was just, the Knicks could not pay him anymore and then what they could, and OKC smartly doubled it. Hey, we were going to pay you this, but he's, in this day and age, he's the closest thing to a non-star complete center that you're going to get.
And they paid him $70 million. And he said,
exactly. Hey, thank you kindly.
I love you, New York, but I'm going to the Dust Bowl.
Man, right. I'm going right on. I'm going right over there and see what they got. And I said that. I say it's unfortunate. Well, Hartenstein, I mean, I'm not going to say that you don't need Cat with Hartenstein, but I don't know.
Hartenstein allows Cat to be Cat. Cat don't want to guard in the paint, and he don't want to do all of those things. He can spot up, he can post, mid post and shoot the face. He can do all the stuff because Hartenstein gonna be there.
Right.
He's a better offensive version of Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson's better defensively.
Well, how much does Cat get paid?
40. I don't know.
That's it? He gotta be at least 50. I was gonna say, do you take Laurie and John Collins for Cat?
Ooh, 57, 61.
Yeah,
53 this year, 57 next year. 53 this year, 57 next year, 61 year after that. 61 million. 61 million.
I'm telling you, I'm trading, and I'm gonna tell you, I think that works for Utah too. If you put Walker Kessler back at the 5, Karl Anthony Towns at the 4,
then you're the Minnesota Timberwolves. No difference. He was with Rudy.
Damn, you're right. You're right. You're literally running it back.
That's the exact same thing. Right. When they put Mitchell Robinson in, they did the same thing.
You're right.
His Cat has to evolve, dog, and Cat is not evolving. He's hit a ceiling. He's a decent offensive player as long as he doesn't psych himself out.
I'm not gonna say that. I think the Cat is like all of the rest of these guys. They just haven't been exposed. Cat is just like no. He's just like Evan Mobley. He's dependent on having a 5 to back him up.
Cat's better than Evan Mobley.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is stretch 4s who are dependent on having a 5 to save them defensively. I think that Evan Mobley is good defensively, but I think he's that good defensively because you got Jared Allen holding it down. Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that he's pretty good, but it's because you had Steven Adams and now you have Zach Edey. I think that in order for any of those guys to push their teams to be championship contenders, they're going to have to find a way to be serviceable fives. If you can't do that,
well, then you need and this is why y'all need to reach out to these damn veterans, bruh. Y'all keep trying to disrespect.
Oh, New York.
Look,
You mean tell you who y'all could have used? Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard would have been good. But what I'm saying is Cat needs to go study with Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, if he were to offensively play like Tim Duncan and just realize when somebody's smaller than me, I'm going to either shoot a patented shot and not a step back three. That's not your patented shot, Cat. Or I'm just going to punish you in the paint. If he would have just do that.
Oh, you mean you
he would
find
be
him
great
toughness?
Yes. You got to. He can't get it on his own. We 10 years in.
You saw the Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah. Hey, man.
Okay.
Listen, at the end of the day, Hakeem Olajuwon might be over there. You need to go speak to him.
At the end of the day, the day gonna end. That's what Glorilla said. Boy, the cat is gonna be a cat. That's what you bought. You knew you bought a cat. You didn't buy a dog. I've been telling you that. You got it.
Yeah, man. You can't. Cat has to. He has to go figure out how to.
Cat would be okay if you can get a defensively facing four who's tenacious. You need
Draymond.
that. No. Draymond will break him.
Oh, your boy. But I mean, they may fight. But Isaiah.
Oh, you know what? Knicks.
That's your answer. And he's cheap.
Him or Duran. I don't think they're getting rid of Duran, but they're redundant.
They're like 20.
He's
He's like 20 years old. They never gonna give him up.
You're right. I would. Isaiah and the Knicks would love a good Isaiah.
But and and invite Charles Oakley back to the stadium.
Yep, a good punch him.
Let them too. The new enforcer. Y'all should do it right now. See, this is why you podcast and this is why you have beverages. You see that's empty, and you get to, and you get to have these conversations. Isaiah Stewart on the Knicks would be fantastic. He might not do nothing but fight, but that's all you need.
But
with Tyrese Halliburton doing all that Jalen Brunson stuff, Isaiah, I guarantee he ain't do that against Indiana. I mean, against Detroit. Isaiah Stewart will fight you. Although you got James Jones though, James Johnson, you know,
don't matter. See, this is the thing. It don't matter if you actually win the fight. I think that Isaiah Stewart is. By the time that you find out you're gonna get your ass whooped, it's too late. It's over. So then we good, but you will get tore up. But you probably won't get to that. They ain't gonna let it. Adam Silver ain't gonna let you get that far. But yeah, you put your hand on him.
You already knocked out one dude.
Wop babaloo bop, wop bamboo.
You already knocked out one dude. They ain't gonna let you knock out. Just keep knocking people out.
So let's look at these finals. Number 1 seed out of the West, OKC versus the number 4 seed, Pacers. Who you got?
Who do I have? I got OKC in 3.
Oh, you're delusional.
Delusional. I don't listen. OKC. I heard somebody say this on earlier when I was listening. They brought back the Nolan Richardson 48 minutes of hell on defense against Minnesota. And they just decided that the series is going to be over with. You could have taken SGA away. Not away, but he could have just had a regular game and not had his MVP games. And that defense probably still would have won. That defense, their weakness, pause if necessary, is size. Like you got to have like grown men play the center because Chet is so thin that you can get him off his rocker. The thing is, Indiana ain't got that. And their strength is everybody else from the 1 to the 4. OKC got somebody to guard everybody on that team. They got 2 people to guard everybody on that team. And I'm joking when I say OKC in 3. I think it's going to be OKC in 6. I think OKC in 6 is I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to get them 2, and Pascal will get them 2 wins. I think OKC is just too. It's too. They're too deep, bro. They play 10 players. They got people that I ain't even. It's a whole lot of people on these teams. Of hey, I don't know who that is. His name. Who is he over there? What's his name? All that.
The Pacers. This is what I will say about these 2 teams that I think that some people see, but not everybody is. These teams are basically like mirror images
of each other.
You know, you may, and I don't think you're wrong for being inclined to lean towards OKC. But if you look at Isaiah Hartenstein, you look at Miles Turner, it's a dog fall. You look at Pascal and you look at Chet. Chet's a little bit younger, a little bit more athletic, but Pascal's a veteran, a champion. To me, another dog fall. You look at the 3 position, you got Nesmith versus OG. I mean, not OG, Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams has been more consistent, 3rd team all defense, 3rd team all NBA, but we also saw Nesmith cook up. 2.
No, we didn't. We saw him cook up 1. He had an outer body experience. Outside of that, he ain't good offensively. And he not going to be guarding Jalen. He going to be guarding SGA.
Right. You got Nembhard and Lou Dort. Dogfall. Then you got SGA and Tyrese Halliburton. SGA, you lean SGA because he's the damn MVP. But Halliburton also not a slouch on any day of the week.
He crazy as hell. There is nobody to guard SGA on the Pacers.
No, I mean, they're going to try to that's not their game. Their game is to try to outscore you. It's can you stop them? Then you look at the bench. Alex Caruso, TJ McConnell. Same guy. And then the Pacers got Benedict Mathurin on the bench. I think that if there's a time for you to make some money, Benny, this is your chance. I think that you're a really good basketball player. I think that, honestly, he's another guy that if I'm the Magic, I'm trying to see if I can get him on my team because he averages 16 in his rotation play now, but I think that there's a world where he's probably closer to a 23-point player. I think that if he does what he needs to do, if Obi does what he needs to do, it's unfortunate they lost Jarace Walker to that knee leg injury that looked terrible. And Thomas Bryant, it's going to be interesting. Surely going to be interesting. I do lean OKC, but I these teams are a lot closer than people think.
Bruh. Matchup wise, I think OKC has somebody to guard every person on Indiana's team. They have a legit 7 defensive players that they can throw at your backcourt. That's just your backcourt. They have players that they just put in to play defense. I'm trying to get to the roster.
Okay. So if you look at the difference between the two is there's 2 guys on the Pacers bench that give you 20 points. None of these guys on OKC's bench am I really truly concerned about giving me 20 points. Casey Wallace ain't gonna give me 20. Caruso ain't gonna give me 20. Isaiah Joe ain't gonna give me 20. Aaron Wiggins and Jalen Williams not gonna give me 20. No, Benedict Mathurin can give you 20. Obi Toppin give you 20.
That ain't now. Obi is your wild card for this series because the second line of OKC is not predicated on stopping the bigs. But let me tell you, who's not gonna give them 20 points. Ain't none of them Pacers players you just ain't gonna get them 20 points against this bench. All them play defense. Caruso is a monster.
I'm
Case and Wallace, we've seen him.
That's what
Isaiah
I'm saying.
Joe, Aaron Wiggins. Now the bigs is Jalen Williams. Now you're gonna have to figure out this 3-man rotation with the bigs.
For sure.
But that backcourt, bruh, you are going to be in defensive hell the whole game.
This is where I think that Neesmith, you're gonna get another chance to shine. You're gonna get a chance for you to earn some money. And Benedict Mathurin, you're gonna be able to get a lot of shots. You can kind of take yourself from what I consider right now a just regular, decent NBA player who averages 16 points to a guy who probably forces them to have to make a decision about somebody else.
Bro, you don't know. Tony Bradley ain't doing nothing against OKC.
No, Thomas Bryant.
You're right.
Thomas Bryant is going to be that guy, especially against his team. You're right.
I hope so. Maybe that was the start and not an anomaly for those three. But let me tell you who's going to have a different. I do believe in Tyrese Halliburton. I do believe in him. He is everything we want Trae Young to be, because he's the only reason he's really better than Trae Young is because he's 6'3", 6'4". And
I can't say that. And he's more responsible with the ball. He also just he's a better decision maker than Trae.
Yes, but
he's not a slave. He's not a slave to his emotions.
He can't get trapped because he's 6'2". When you try to blitz him, he just passes the ball over top of you. So, and that's where Trae makes all his bad decisions.
He's 6'5".
Cool.
But also he just don't get into the
emotional part of it. Yeah, Trae got to grow up. But also, like, that bench with TJ McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, and Obi Toppin are your keys to winning this series. And I'm gonna let you know right now, I don't think them keys work. I think we lost a lot. I don't think it opens no doors. I don't think nothing. I think that Benedict Mathurin and Obi Toppin will be locked up against OKC. I think OKC's defense is crazy. OKC in 3 is disrespectful. I know. I'm really saying OKC in 6. I think Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal are going to get you 2-1-1. Tyrese Burton and Pascal are going to get you 2 wins. I don't think their bench can get them nothing. Not against this team.
Now, see, the thing about it is, once again, it kind of comes. I think the battle is Chet versus Pascal. Chet's he's big. He's gonna be one of the bigger guys that Pascal has been tasked to deal with. But Pascal is a 20+ point a game guy. Chet's 15. You need Chet to be 20+ in order for that to work, because you're gonna have
don't. Go ahead.
So outside of SGA, where are you gonna get your points from?
Everybody. It's the same thing. You just said they mirror images of each other. So you could say outside of Pascal and Halliburton, where you gonna get your points from? It's the same thing. They all score.
Yeah, but okay. So Benedict averages. I don't want to play that numbers game, but to me, it's a math game. Pacers gonna make it hell on these boys, because all of them get about 15-point a game guys, and OKC don't have that.
Okay, like I said, I think the 1 through the 10
can
guard the 1 through the 10. The 1 through the 10 of OKC can guard the 1 through the 10 of the Pacers, and it vice versa. It is not the same.
And I hate to say it, I really want to pick the Pacers. I want to pick the Pacers so bad, but I got good sense.
Yeah, I don't.
And speaking of good sense, this is the other reason why I'm not picking the Pacers.
Bruh, and then we didn't even talk about foul merchant. Hell no.
126 free throws made, 147 free throws attempted. He shot so many free throws, they broke him down in first half and second half. He still out free throws everybody. But then look at 4, Benedict Mathurin. That's the reason. And then, I mean, honestly, look at the rest of this list. It's all there.
Yeah, it's because it's all playoffs. And I think it was all West. I think it's all finals, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so for y'all that are listening, it's the free throw attempts and made, and SGA is at 126 of 147, and the next closest person has taken 79. So he's literally 49%. I mean 49%, 45% higher in terms of volume of free throws. And y'all kept saying he's not a free throw merchant, and he only takes 8 per game. I said, bruh, I'm watching these playoffs. I'm watching them. Whenever things get tight,
yeah, drop the ball. And
fine.
And I hope that they do a little bit less of that, because it did get to a point where, or just call it even. Because I was looking at Anthony Edwards, Caruso.
Bro, he was getting drop kicked.
Right. If you gonna call it for SGA, just make sure you call it for Anthony Edwards. And I feel like that's crazy to say, but I think it needs to be said. Now, Sneaky, I think that the Atlanta Hawks, that team that you're talking about, probably does match up 2 through 5 very well, but ain't not nothing that anybody on that Hawks team could do with SGA, except for watch him destroy you. Everywhere else.
What you responded to is a comment that says, y'all hear that Jeff Teague basically said that Hawks team that was number 1 in the East that got swept by LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. Semifinals, finals, no finals. Would have beaten this OKC team. I mean, no.
I get the sentiment, but I'm also going to deal with reality. Reality says there's no answer for SGA, and that means barbecue chicken. Now it would have been interesting, because Korver would have made a hell on Jalen Williams. Korver can shoot that shit, and if you let Korver in this time. And Millsap at that point in his career is better than Chet. He's gonna give Chet a tough day at the park and not ever really go anywhere.
I think that team, we it's the same thing. We were better than everybody else on the Cavs except for LeBron, and we just couldn't stop LeBron. Right. Whenever that team, the Hawks always seem to play a team that has that guy. We played against Jordan. Played against LeBron. We didn't have to play against Kobe because he was in the West. But whoever that guy is in the East, that's who beats us.
We played against Dwight Howard.
No, we didn't. You heard Jeff T. We ain't played. We gave him 50. We ain't even play you. We played 4 on 5. We don't even play you, dog.
Right.
We gonna give him 50. 50. Yeah, man. That's it, all right.
But yes, that concludes the basketball segment. We are going to take a quick break, and then Reggie and I will be here to knock out a little bit of football. And that's it. Always remember, like, follow, subscribe. Reggie and I will return momentarily. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Splashcast listeners, are you ready to dive into some exciting opportunities with us? The Splashcast is now open for brand partnerships, advertisements, and sponsorships. We want your business to make a splash with our audience. Picture your brand reaching all of our loyal and passionate listeners who love our weekly content. From HBCU news around the culture to our splashes of the week, we cover it all. If you're looking for a dynamic platform to showcase your products or services, look no further. Reach out to us at diveteammedia@gmail.com. That's diveteammedia@gmail.com. Or visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com for more details.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are back. I'm back, and I'm black. Reggie back, and he black. And it's time to talk a little bit of football.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our final segment, episode 193 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. Make sure y'all like, follow, subscribe. Our football segment. We got a few things to talk about. Some NCAA news. Then we'll talk about some football, NFL football as well. As always, like, follow, subscribe. Let's start off with NCAA. So this is what you call an I told you so segment. There has been one person, and I've gotten better at acknowledging when people are right. Norwood has said the SEC is trying to leave the NCAA for the last, since we had episode 193. That's 193 weeks. We've been saying that since week 50, maybe 40. They are trying.
Sometimes people will say the quiet things
out loud. So the NCAA,
no worries. George Sankey.
Sankey says that they basically have people asking, why are we still in the NCAA? At this point, we could just leave and have our own league. And those people that he's saying are athletic directors and NIL lives boosters that are just saying the quiet things out loud.
And not wrong. We ultimately, we get a lot of flack for being considered homers because Reggie, of course, is a University of Georgia Bulldogs fan, and I'm a Florida Gators fan. But cumulatively, we watch a ton of SEC football, and I think that us, like the rest of the world, understands that right now, that's where the best football is being played that's not in the NFL. That's just what it is. So, yeah, you have Greg Sankey, why are we look at the SEC championship, and in many cases, that game is better than the national championship game. That's more competitive. It's more important. It's more of everything. Then you have these other teams, no offense to the Big Ten, but their conference is pretty weak consistently. Now, have y'all had a couple good years? Absolute respect. But over the last 20, 25 years, college football has been leaning on the everlasting of the SEC.
Leaning.
Exactly.
Leaning. They have. I mean,
and if you've been able to do that, then yeah, why do we have to beat what do we get for beating each other up and then letting one of these teams that barely played anybody have a chance at a championship? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, yes, there's also another conversation off of this. So this actually was brought back up because the SEC has petitioned the NCAA to change the format of the 16-team playoff, where they're saying y'all are trying to make it 5 seeds of automatic bids from each conference, and then the other 11 seeds are just at large. And the SEC like, bruh, no. It don't matter. The same people that win the ACC ain't gonna beat the SEC's third best team is how they feel. I'm not saying that's true or not. I'm not. I don't know.
I would love to. Yeah, play Duke. Bring Duke. Bring Duke. Bring UNC with Bill Belichick. Little Smokies.
Belichick ain't about to be there. About to get that man right up out of there. You read them stories? But what I'm saying is,
you've been getting him up out of there.
Hey, let it loose. But what I'm saying is, he been going. What I'm saying is, the SEC feels that you don't deserve an automatic bid just because you're in a Power 5 conference when 2 conferences have 30 teams, right? They basically say it's a Power 2, and the rest of y'all can fight it out.
And Notre Dame with a fast pass to the end.
Yeah. Shout out to Notre Dame. Y'all, hey, don't get mad at them. That's foul merchant. Y'all done figured out a way to cheat the system. And it's worked for 50 years, bro. And it will continue to work.
No, 50 years ago, they were actually good at football. And then they were just never good again. Right around Manti Te'o's girlfriend's appearance and disappearance.
They've been better than y'all the last couple of years.
Because you don't have to play anybody. If they had to play SEC schedule, they're not going to be. They're not. You're not walking out of that. You think that Notre Dame is going into the SEC East, and
yeah, I think they beaten Florida. I think they beaten
over the last
SEC 15, East.
Yeah, I mean, no, yeah, over the last 15 years, You had to deal with you guys. Then, if you get lucky, then you go play an SEC championship and play Alabama. Yeah, a grand total of fucking never. None of those guys. Like, who's the guy who you look at Notre Dame and like, oh, he's a world beater outside of Kyle Hamilton?
The running back they got, I can't think of his name.
Oh, cool.
That's it. That's all I got.
Right. Joe Alt.
Oh yeah, Big Joe Alt, Big Mountain Joe.
Yeah. But
the brawny paper towels, man.
But also, how many? No offense to Joe Alt, but Alabama has had their fair share of Joe Alts too now.
All of them,
right?
About all of them.
So no, just it's a fast pass. It is what it is. Nobody's ever gonna change it. So I'm not gonna let it upset me for any longer. But I'm also calling the BS when I see it. It is what it is, but also not my problem. If y'all secede from the union, we live in a different time anyway. Do whatever you want to. Let's see what it plays out. The NCAA has the NCAA has done so poorly with managing these things now that I don't care. Do whatever you want to. We live in romper room world anyway, so we get the measles in Texas, so why not?
And I be trying to defend the other conferences, but then they do stupid shit like this. Georgia Tech decided to get rings made. Yes, championship rings made. Well, I guess they're not championship rings made. Class rings. They decided to get class rings made for a 7-6 season. 7-6. A 7-6 season. They went and the thing is, they got rings made after losing the bowl game. They were 7-5 going into the bowl game. I can see if you got a ring made because you won the bowl game. Nope. This is loser mentality. I don't care, and I got a lot of Georgia Tech people that I work with. I don't care that y'all lost to Georgia in whatever overtime, and y'all blew a 20-point lead to Miami. You still lost. Listen. If there's something about being a Georgia fan that has done
Miami.
to me,
I think they
beat Miami. They beat Miami. But they lost like Syracuse. They lost somebody, but they lost 6 times. 5 of them, I'm sure they weren't supposed to lose everyone. Let me tell you something. Let me finish this point.
You guys are all gonna be engineers, bro. Nobody cares about y'all playing football.
As a Georgia fan, I have zero empathy because I've had to sit through the daggers and the darts thrown at me for underachieving. Can you imagine if UGA at 7-6 got some damn rings made? Listen.
I mean, also, let's be real here. It's
awful.
And I do mean this. It's just not a real football team.
Wow.
Y'all are not. Y'all are a school for smart people, and that's great.
I think Georgia Tech would have beat y'all this year.
Y'all are the ACC Vanderbilt. Congratulations. No. Now, see, that's a rivalry that should exist. The nerds versus the nerds. I would like to see a 10-year back and forth between Georgia Tech and Vandy.
I think that used to be a rivalry, actually, because Georgia Tech used to be in the SEC.
I think that would be great, and I think that it's a chance for every year to you kind of get not like a good win, but I think that in both cases it's going to be one of their better wins if you can get it. If you're Georgia Tech, you say, "Hey, I beat the SEC team. Just don't tell them it's Vandy." And if you're Vandy, bro, I gotta play SEC schedule, bro. I will take the wins where I can get them. So yeah, I will be super interested in seeing what that looks like because I think there are 2 teams that are reasonably equally yoked. I think that would be entertaining in my humble opinion. But getting rings for going 7-6. I'm going to go ahead and take this down because I don't think that you should.
It's not for being 7-6. It's for going undefeated at home. Is what they're trying to say.
I don't care about any of that. I'm stepping
on all of
that.
Loser talk.
And this is the other part, though. I don't think that any of your players are going to wear that stupid ass ring because those players are are gonna have. That's the ring you give to your mother, and just hope that nobody asks her any questions.
Put it right in front of the degree.
Because if you're a Georgia Tech football player, I'm sure that you have friends who play football at the University of Georgia. And if you wear that stupid ass ring around them, boy, what you want that ring for? For
what should we get? Yes, y'all should put statues of us out there, beat the shit out y'all every year.
If you don't take that ring, I'll put it in your pocket.
All right, so let's move on because this liquor is hitting. Falcons. If you have a chance, I actually recorded the video twice because the microphone wasn't on the first time. Where it's kind of a Kyle Pitts series. The whole trade deadline, the whole trade controversy and all of these things came out about him being open to a trade and the Falcons getting a lot of calls received about him. And I kind of went over the pros and cons of keeping him and trading him. I came up to the conclusion that at this point, with Michael Penix Jr. and they're allegedly been working, you need a security blanket, and you can try to turn him into
Charlie Warner. Hell, call John.
So that was my next thing. I was going to ask you.
I heard he's.
Do you want to trade? Would you trade Kyle Pitts?
Yes.
And what would you trade him for? What would be the minimum thing you trade him for?
I'm pushing for a second, but realistically a third. I mean, between the money that I get back and not paying his salary, the little cap space, and a third round pick, I think that unfortunately he's in the same category to me as Cam Reddish. We've given you a ton of opportunities, and sometimes it looks good, and then sometimes it just doesn't look good. And the thing that I look at more than anything is I see a lot of times where he's just not giving the effort. That to me is the one thing that I can't. There are a couple things that for me: lack of effort, drop passes. We have a wide receiver that's tougher than you. Drake London is
no way we should be using a wide receiver to block where you're supposed to be.
Drake London is just meaner and tougher than you, and that's crazy to me. But if you ever like man versus man, if Kyle Pitts and Drake London get into it, I think Drake London is whooping Kyle. He's just mean and nasty. Like, and he's light skinned, and I think he's sensitive, but he is a tenacious blocker. He plays aggressively. He high points the ball aggressively, and when you need a big play, he's there. He's a wide receiver. You're a tight end, and you're the you can't be soft and low effort. Pause. Hey, yo.
What have you said, my friend?
But I don't know of any other way to say it. But
that's all one drink, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, first of all, that's strong, which means that's like that's 3 shots of bourbon in there. So back up a little bit. But
you back up. You the one said it.
But at the same time, and I'm a Florida fan, and y'all know I'm a Florida purist. But when I make peace with you,
hey man, I've done all. Hey, it's like black women. We've done all we can. It is what it is. They rioted in the streets.
Right,
hey man. Pass
and
the
if
butter.
you tell me we can get if you tell me we get a 3rd round pick right now, and I think we're gonna need those picks here soon. I think that unfortunately you're replaceable.
We're pick starved. We're pick starved for sure.
We need picks, and there are still decent free agents that we could go get. And that I think he's getting paid $10-ish million. I think that we could very well pay that to somebody else.
Pie in the sky for me, and there's gonna be a reel that comes out about it before this episode, so I can say it here. I'll rehash it. I truly think Aaron Rodgers is off his rocker. Yeah. I don't know what's happening. I'm not necessarily. I do think that eventually he will sign with the Steelers because there's no other play. He's already said, I'm not going to New Orleans. So there's no other place for him to go. So, but in the event, this is just pie in the sky. In the event that the Steelers get sick of him, there is a quarterback and a tight end that I would package to send to y'all for a player, maybe two, to make the money work, and a third round pick. I would send Kirk Cousins and Kyle Pitts to Pittsburgh today for Darnell Washington, who is a 6'8" mobile offensive tackle that plays tight end, who blocks very, very well, and we're a run-based offense. Who can catch?
You might get converted to offensive lineman, brother. But
even with that, but you could then, to make the money work, they kind of sick of TJ Watt. Not sick, but they gotta pay him. You can get TJ Watt back, who can play 12 games a year. You go overpay him the first year, but it makes the money work, and you get Kirk off the books for the free ski. And now you have improved the pass rush, and you have a serviceable tight end that's just as athletic, maybe not as fast as Kyle Pitts. And you don't really lose anything.
I'm gonna say this, Steelers. I think that y'all already lost control of your organization. To keep it above with y'all. Y'all are in a place of constant spiral and foolishness. You look embarrassing, and the fact that you guys haven't made the move for Kirk Cousins, whatever it is, at this point, you might have to pay some of the salary, And I think that there is a place where Atlanta will be happy just to have Kirk gone. So I think that Atlanta's reasonable about figuring out something about making a deal happen. And Kirk, I think that people remember the end of Kirk, so they hate him. And that's fair. But before Kirk was bad, he was real good. And as long as you can get, realistically, what are you guys trying to do? You're trying not to have a losing season. Y'all not going to be the best team in the AFC North. So the best thing that you can do is try to find a happy medium. Get Kirk Cousins, get you another quarterback, let him be the bridge, and y'all will be straight. But you waiting on Big Ayahuasca to show up
to not make the playoffs
and ruin your organization. When was the last time that it was beneficial for Aaron Rodgers to be on a team?
Green Bay. Before they've hired Matt LaFleur.
Right.
Which, again, I'm going to make fun of you every time, you stupid MFer. If you would have just stayed with Green Bay and shut the F up, they wouldn't have drafted Jordan Love, and you would have been cool with Matt LaFleur and one of the best offensive minds in football.
Packers quarterbacks are they've been blessed to have a lot of winning going on over there because they're quarterbacks. But I watched that Brett Favre documentary, boy. Between Brett and Aaron Rodgers, as good as it is on the field, it is exactly that terrible off the field.
It's worse. You stealing from poor people. You smoking ayahuasca. You everywhere.
Brett sending them meat shots out, boy. Oh my God. Y'all need to watch that Brett Favre documentary.
That boy numbed himself. That boy, he couple steps below Diddy. Numb yourself up and do wild stuff. That's all he was doing with them painkillers. Numb himself up and go crazy. Okay, we'll get off of there. Speaking of going crazy, hey, yeah, we can go there. Devontae Smith, whatever your name, Freeman. Devontae Smith played for the Eagles. Devontae Freeman says the Atlanta Falcons didn't want me to be a starter, but I took that shit. Pause if necessary. D. Orlando Ledbetter, who is the Falcons beat writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which is the New York Times of Atlanta, says Warwick Dunn would have made that block in the Super Bowl.
Devontae Freeman, you were good for an hour. for a whole damn hour. The best thing that you could have done is shut up. You got paid that money, back the Brinks truck up. You were never good again. Just let it be what it is. But let me tell you one thing about Atlanta. You are not anybody that anybody cares about, bro. Not one singular person. You're not one of our best running backs of all time. You're not one of our best players of all time. And
he's not.
No, he's not better than Warwick Dunn, TJ Duckett, Craig Ironhead Hayward. He's not going to be better than Bijan.
Michael Turner.
Yeah, Michael
I will
Turner.
say this. It sucks that we lost that game because there's two scapegoats. One rightfully so, and maybe one not rightfully so. We've never got the full story. Devontae Freeman is a scapegoat because of that block. He makes that block. We hit Allen Robinson for an 75-yard touchdown. It's over, and that's the game because he was wide open. Shanahan did his thing on that play design. He was wide open. But, dog, you got to learn how to Freeman, you got to learn how to read the room, bro. We don't forget that game.
Oh, and Jamal Anderson. What are we doing?
You had, unfortunately, a controllable point that you screwed up, and then you didn't own up to it. That, no matter what you did in Atlanta, don't nobody like you, bro.
Damn near. That's like the Cam Newton pump fake. Bro, what were you doing? What were you doing? But with that being said, I ain't spending no more time with Devontae Freeman. Hey, man, do me a favor and shut the fuck up. Yeah. And more interesting news.
Man, Julio Jones. Oh,
go ahead.
Julio Jones, Roddy White, Harry Douglas debut their podcast. We've been looking forward to this as Falcons fans. If you're football fans, you've definitely been looking forward to this because Julio Jones don't really talk. And for the fact that he's having a podcast is where you get to understand and figure out or listen to how you don't have to figure out. He's going to tell you how he felt about certain situations. And let me tell you, episode 1, he talked about what? The Super Bowl. And his thing that we've said is, bro, in the Super Bowl, I'm the best receiver in the league or one of the best receivers in the league, one or top 2. And I got 4 targets, 1 per quarter. And one of them was one of the greatest catches I've ever seen in Super Bowl history on the sideline.
Julio Jones, greatest Atlanta Falcon of all time. Yes. 1 and 2, honestly.
I mean, yes, but it's a quarterback.
Matt Ryan too.
So it's gonna be Matt Ryan. It's gonna be Matt Ryan.
Hell no. And I am the only person in the Matt Ryan fan club. Julio Jones is the #1 Atlanta Falcon ever to exist. Matt Ryan #2.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get mad. I can't get mad at it.
You shouldn't get mad at
it. That's true. I mean, if Julio Jones wins the Super Bowl, he probably passes T.O. all time in terms of overall. But his injuries and the fact that he did the Super Bowl would have overcome the injuries.
Fair.
So,
damn.
It is what it is. My bad. I keep reading these stats over here. Cobee Bryant. I'm not gonna talk about this because I've talked about this too many times. Cobee Bryant may be the most hyped undrafted free agent I have ever seen in football. Definitely for the Falcons. They are talking like he's going to start their game 1, and they feel that they got a steal. How you feel?
I'm excited. Now, I would like for you to leave Lamar Jackson alone. I don't think that's what you should be doing. But I'm excited. I like a guy who believes in himself. I mean, he's notoriously been a guy who's talked his fair share of shit. Great. And I mean, even if you look at this, contract value over 3 years, $3 million, fine. Signing bonus, $40,000, fine. Guaranteed money, $274,000. All of that's fine by me. Cool story. 2025 cap hit, 850,000. All of this is cool. And if you exceed this, which I assume is a low bar, then yeah, we're in the right place. Falcons, Raheem, you know what it is. You better figure this defense out. And Cobee, this is an opportunity for you to make all your money back. If you come out
they
here,
believe in him,
and they're gonna give you a shot. You're gonna get your opportunity, which most people don't get. You're gonna get a chance
from day one.
From
like
day one.
You signing a contract before we even get to training camp as
Right.
an undrafted free agent is
kind of crazy. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you got drafted, kid.
Yeah.
You got drafted in the late round. And then on top of that, you got Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. as your pass rushers, Leonard Washington. You got what most Atlanta cornerbacks do not have, a pass rushing opportunity.
Yeah. And it hides your flaws, right? You run his flaws, he ran a 4.5. 4.58.
I don't care about 40.
That. But if y'all can get to the quarterback in 2.2 seconds, I ain't got to run top speed, but for 2.2 seconds. Y'all better figure out a slant. I can guard a slant. I got a slant and a fly all day. That's easy. So I do think if our pass rush is what it is, I think Cobee Bryant, I think he's going to end up making it anyway. But
and
hey,
make
man,
them
you
make
keep
all
poking
them
the bear,
people
though. They're going to try to kill you.
You pay. And I do like we got Xavier Watts. We got Billy Bowman. I really think that this secondary could have an opportunity to kind of be, if y'all stick together and kind of play as a group well, y'all could be good for a while together.
Like the Chiefs secondary? Chiefs secondary is their defensive strength.
And yeah, and all of these guys we've seen be good in college. And none of you guys got to take the CB1 role because AJ Terrell already got that. Y'all just got to do the rest. There's nobody asking you to go out there and be a world beater. That's AJ Terrell's job. You got a pass rush. Thank the Lord. You got an offense that should be poised to score you a decent amount of points. So with all of those things, it's just been a long time since Atlanta's secondary has had an opportunity where, you know what, we don't have to stop them from scoring all the points. We're not going to be on the field the whole damn game. When we are on the field, they put together a group of guys who can rush the passer. And we already got cornerback one. It's just about, hey, can we execute and play our assignment? And if you can do that, you can get paid a lot of money, Cobee Bryant. A ton.
Yeah, you definitely have the opportunity because nothing is set in stone. And I lied. I said he ran a 4.58 or a 4.6. He ran a 4.52. So he could have just had a bad day and then got down to a 4.4. Like that professional training, once you get to where it's just training, then
First of all, when they clock the 40, you clock it running forward or backwards? Last time I checked, last time I checked, when you do that, you run backwards. So as long as you can cover and do your job, the 40 is cool, but that just because you run the 40 fast, that don't mean too much to me. Give me a good football player over a fast 40 guy any day of the week.
My bad. I accidentally muted my phone. muted my mic. Yeah, so you got it's Falcons. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. It's OTAs. We have to see. We really in limbo with this whole Kirk Cousins thing. So if anything happens, we'll hop on, or if not, I'll hop on and say something. But we'll see. We'll see for sure.
All right. Next, we're gonna go to good news. You want to talk about my man Antoine Blank in his books?
Man, look, man. So we covered this during the football season. So Antoine actually retired from the NFL. And since he's retired, he actually has released 3 books under a Black-owned publishing company, and he has actually been working on this for a while. So we wanted to highlight the fact that he has released 3 books, and not just 3 books since he retired, 3 books in 13 months, which means he's already had a plan. He already had something going for him. So shout out to Anthony for him coming out with that. What do you think about it?
I love it. Number one, anytime that we have athletes writing books, great. These seem to be children's books, and you're putting them out tonight. So you have a Black author with a Black publishing company. You know how me and Reggie feel about supporting each other. So this is infinitely great on every level for us. These are the things that you're probably not going to get from any other news outlet. And that's the reason you always remember, like, follow, subscribe, listen to this Splashcast.
Yep. And before you click on the next one, I actually want to switch up the.
He said it.
I want to switch up the order. So let's talk about the Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah being signed to a multi-year contract extension that they've been working on for a while. He inherited that team. I don't remember if he was the one to trade Kirk Cousins. I think he was, but he's the one that hired Kevin O'Connell. He's the one that basically came in and cleaned up the Minnesota Vikings and built that team into the contender that they are today. And they rewarded him for it instead of canceling him and firing him and then hiring somebody of a demographic to take all of the
Duran Carthon
credit.
Tennessee Titans special.
Yep. Shout out to the Vikings. Shout out to that. How you feel about it?
I think it's a great idea. I think they're in a little bit different situation. They've seen enough success. That team, you got Justin Jefferson, but you also have Addison on the other side. He was an excellent pickup. You were able to go get John Grenard. You've put this team, and then you had your boy. I can't think of his name right now. Who's the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks now? Sam Darnold. You went and got Sam Darnold, and that experiment worked out to perfection. There's no way that I'm not gonna say there's no way because he's Black. We can always get fired. But I don't think it was advisable, and I think that he's done a great job. Congratulations, get your money. We always support securing bags around here.
Always support the Blacks. We always support the Blacks, and you know why I'm saying this, because it is a transition to somebody that apparently does not.
He said it. He said it. He said it. He said it. The first thing I saw. Okay, I'm gonna hijack this for a minute. For the audio,
introduce it so the people
the audio experience people. This is a picture of 4 people who we don't know, or 3 people who we don't know where they were on January 6th, and Donald Trump. When I say he said it, we're talking about Mason Rudolph, and he was center stage and literally in front of the podium, speaking at some Trump rally with the presidential seal in front of him. I think that Myles Garrett was telling the truth when he said that Mason Rudolph called him something. I'm pretty sure this mustache confirms it. And I can't trust. You look like a super trooper. This mustache is unnerving to me. This is also the Steelers quarterback, and he looks like the Steelers quarterback in 1974.
I told y'all should believe Myles Garrett. Y'all wrote that down. I'm glad you said that, because that was my point. Y'all wrote Myles Garrett off as saying that he is this big, gargantuan, angry Black man who got upset because Cleveland is losing and Mason Rudolph was talking trash, and he didn't say anything, and they said he finally broke his silence, and y'all said he said Mason Rudolph called me a slur, and y'all said, oh, now you say that, nobody believes you. Fast forward to the literal mascot of bigotry, MAGA, and Mason Rudolph is right up there with them, endorsing them with the handlebar mustache, the Ku Klux Klan. You know what that mustache is for? That's when you wear the hood and it stop at your mouth. So therefore, they can't see none of the stuff that go down no goatee, but it cover everything else. We've seen it before. It's documented in history.
Also,
and now he's up there.
Like a golf shirt and blazer. I hate that look. Oh,
and he's up there. Mind you, he plays in one of the blackest organizations of all time. And when I say organizations, I mean Pittsburgh. I don't mean just Pittsburgh. I mean the NFL.
Look like he plays for the whitest organization too, the Republican Party.
And then you play for Mike Tomlin, who is one of the blackest coaches of all time.
That's the reason they got rid of George Pickens. Ain't no way Pickens would have let it.
And why they bring DK in? DK played at Ole Miss. He know how to just he chill out. George Pickens was like, nah, bro, we don't do none of that. That was funny. It was right on time, and you didn't deny that it's true. Mm-hmm. DK fight everybody else, but that. But Mason Rudolph is on stage with the Republican Party, with the alt-right is what I call them. The
alt-white,
all of them, white, right, whatever you want to call it, all of them. All of them, and he's endorsing it. I'm sure that locker room conversation will be.
Wright State wants no affiliation with that. That's a callback from the mic check.
Let me tell you, if I'm a offensive lineman and we losing, I'm letting you get plastered. Y'all traded away. Y'all didn't sign Justin Fields to keep Mason Rudolph.
Why does Trump look like a cereal bite? Why?
He looks like a mannequin. Like Trump don't look like he's.
You remember that little pump Kanye video where they had the square body? That's what he looks like. Why? Like look at everybody. Yeah, like everybody else has like a neck and shoulders and traps, and then Trump is like, very good people. This Mason Rudolph guy. Apparently he called him
Pittsburgh Purge.
Handsome
Purge.
And everything else. So
Purge. Pittsburgh Purge, bruh. Just purge. Listen. Trade Mason Rudolph. Who like white people?
No. Keep all of that. Keep it all. Leave it like that. We love it. Ooh. I love nothing more than to see y'all be yourself. So congratulations to the Steelers, and I think that is a great place for us to conclude.
Well, a great place for us to conclude the yawn. I was like, oh, that's it for us. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of episode 193 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. Make sure y'all like, follow, and subscribe. We did the mic check, talked about baseball, and no allows not STFAUing. We have HBCU news around the corner, news around the culture, and hoops and football. Make sure y'all like, follow, and subscribe. Norwood, if we ain't miss anything, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, thank you guys for rocking with us. It has been another fun and fantastic pod with you guys. Also, remember, FAMU going to be in Atlanta. Tuskegee has a first night game. Go support the Blacks, as Reggie often says. Number one, more Black baseball. Shout out to last week, more Black umpires. We supporting all of that. Get involved, stay involved. Let's do it. Number 2, we're leaving this open. I'm taking suggestions in the comments, in the DMs. At this point, number 2 is y'all just be safe. Keep your head on the swivel. Stay woke, even when they tell you don't be woke. Number 3, and by far the most important, the historical Black college university you went to, your auntie went to, your cousin went to, the person used to laugh and kiki in the back of church, send some money over there. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. HBCUs need money and they need it now. The historically Black college university you go to for homecoming, step shows, vibes, to be around your people, send some money over there. You over there eating up the chicken, you drinking up the liquor, hogging all the AC. Least you could do is send them a couple dollars and say thank you. And then by far the greatest learning institution that anybody's ever attended, the Hampton University. Always asking for $18.68 on behalf of the university was founded. Please support Hampton. Please support HBCUs. Please support us. This entire production was brought to you by Black creators. And those Black creators are Dive Team Media. Outside of that, adios, mi amigos. God is love. Until we meet again, adios, arriva, dirty, peace, be safe. thugs, not drugs, and
make sound decisions. Don't finance a Chrome Hearts jacket for 75 months. Be better. This show is produced by Creative Logic Solutions. Whether the project is big or small, let Creative Logic Solutions help bring your vision to life. Catch our latest episodes and stay updated with the world of sports by tuning in to the podcast live on Mondays or catch the re-air on Dive Team Media Network, where you can also check out other Dive Team Media content as well. For collaboration, booking information, or any other inquiries, visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com. Every listen, share, and review is appreciated. Until next time.
Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. We in for it.